Our last video brought us up to date about where we are in the Pacific. This video made during our Pacific crossing is about our time in Panama, and I bring you up to date about the rally, at least at the time we were crossing the Pacific. We explore the area around Shelter Bay, looking at the wildlife, including monkeys in the jungle, and we visit San Lorenzo, a fort on the Chagras River. I'm making this video as we cross the Pacific. We've just crossed the equator and the seas are dead calm, and so the background noise is the motor. Follow along with us as the other rally boats arrive in Panama, and we enjoy our stay on the Atlantic side before crossing the canal to the Pacific side. We entered the breakwater for the Panama Canal at daybreak and proceeded into Shelter Bay, which is just inside the breakwater. It's always a hub of activity with interesting boats, including some training tall ships. This one, a converted fishing trawler, had little control under its own power and had to be pushed. It needed to be hauled out for fresh bottom paint, and we did that at Shelter Bay. It was a really tight fit, so we used children's swimming noodles to protect the hull at the widest part of the boat. The crane operator was very diligent and took a swim to check that the straps were in the right place under the hull. It's not the heaviest, it's the biggest, widest. They just fit. With Pierre in charge of helping the workers with the bottom paint operation, I was free to explore the area. Every day, some of the Kuna Indians set up their molas for display. Surrounding jungle was fabulous. Look at these leaf-cutting ants trooping across the road. They can travel as much as 1 kilometer with their cargo, which is used to feed fungus that they have inside their nest, and they eat the food that the fungus makes. Vicky, who lives on a boat in a marina, gives guided tours every Tuesday morning.
So this is the Baird Battery.
We walked through the abandoned American base. The Americans left Panama in 1999, and the base has been deserted ever since.
And watch where you walk. There's 120 different kinds of snakes here. I think it's a black-cheeked woodpecker. Yeah, black-cheeked woodpecker.
That's the cry of the Toucan, but he was hard to spot with the camera.
Some of them Oropendola. Here is a black bird with a yellow tail. Those are Oropendola nests, just hanging from the tip of the palm tree.
Capuchin monkeys were everywhere.
I think it's a mother and baby down below. That's why he's looking at us like that. About seeing monkeys in the wild.
This side.
Roadside Hawk.
Oh, the hell is it closed?
The area around Shelter Bay Marina is surrounded by Controlled Access National Park of a virgin rainforest, and this leads up towards the ruins of San Lorenzo, which is at the mouth of the Chagras River. The Chagras River is part of the gold route from the Pacific to the Atlantic. And the fort of San Lorenzo was sacked many times by pirates, famous pirates such as Henry Morgan. When BioTrek number 1, our Katana 472, was at Shelter Bay 15 years ago, we first visited San Lorenzo with my daughter, also 15 years old at that time. It was falling into ruins. But check out these two pictures showing the difference with San Lorenzo now being restored. I'm glad I saw it as a remote, deserted fortress, but also happy to see it's being saved from the encroaching jungle. When we were there 15 years ago, there wasn't a bridge across the canal, and now with the new Punta Atlantica, tourists from Panama City can easily come to San Lorenzo and visit this area of Panama. With fresh bottom paint, BioTrek was now ready to go back in the water, and we were ready to head off to San Blas to join some of the rally boats and explore that area. And next, I'm going to give you an update about the rally as I make this video while we're at sea on our way to the South Pacific.
Don't buy it. There's not
I'm editing this video on our way between Panama and the Îles Gambier in the South Pacific, so that's part of the French Polynesia. And we're at sea. We're doing pretty fast. We're between 12 and 14 knots with the Jennifer up, and that video is to come. But I just wanted to give an update to all our viewers on the rally. So most of the rally went to Galapagos. We decided not to go to Galapagos for several reasons. We've been there before. It's complicated now. It's a little different. You have to get rid of a lot of your fruits and vegetables before you can go in. No meat allowed. Fumigation required. And also we have a dog on board, which meant we wouldn't have a cruising permit. We'd stay in one port. So we thought it'd be more interesting to go to some of the remote part of French Polynesia instead that we've never been to. So les Îles Gambier. And we're en route. It's going to take us, we figure it'd take us between 14 and 18 days depending on the wind, and right now we have good wind. So here's an update on the rally. So we joined the rally in Martinique, and after the Atlantic crossing, 2 boats dropped out of the rally, Liberty and Splendid Seas, for various reasons, business, and maybe weren't really enthralled about the Atlantic crossing, so the Pacific and Indian Oceans are pretty big too. And since then, another few boats have dropped out for various reasons. In Aruba, Speaken dropped out for health reasons, and they're going to be selling their boat. And Great Circle had an accident. They were hit by a ferry. It took out their whole crossbeam, which is the structure that holds up the mast. And if you follow their Instagram, and I'm sure the YouTubes to come, Outremer has just been amazing, gone out of the way. And they're at sea again, heading towards Panama, hoping to get through the canal quickly so that they can join the fleet in Marquesas. Our plan is to go to Marquesas after we visit les Îles Gambier. Another update is in Panama, another couple boats dropped out of the rally. So one boat, Surya, who you've seen in a lot of the Great Circle YouTubes, they sailed together, a Dutch boat, for business reasons and because of the back and forth between Europe and other destinations just really wasn't working out, and they've decided they'll wait a few more years before doing around the world. And then the boat Wildling dropped out. They had an accident at sea with the spinnaker. So there was someone who was kind of thrown up by the spinnaker, broke their hip, and then was thrown overboard. Luckily recovered, but still recovering in hospital, and they're going to wait until she's fully recovered before they continue and do a much slower route around the world. So that's another 5X. So 2 5Xs have dropped out, Surya and Wildling. And then lastly, en route to Galapagos, the catamaran Manica had to turn back because they had a problem with the sail drive, so they're now back in Panama. We're hoping that they'll continue. A great couple, and this is kind of normal for rallies. Sometimes things happen with boats, people can't keep up the pace, they want to go slowly, they decide sailing's not for them. But so far so good on BioTrek. We left Panama at exactly the same time with 2 canoes and pump 3. So we all waited together for a new crew to arrive. and we left together. 2 canoes is going to Galapagos, so they've diverted course. And so we're looking forward to getting to destination and calm sea so I can finish my backlog of videos and give you the latest in real time.